Hello, friends. Hello. What's happening here? Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, May 20th. Happy last day of May. For us, if you're only doing 20 days because it's 2020, then today is the last day. So, exciting times. I'm getting a piece of paper in case I have to take notes. Hold, please. Okay. Also, if you are watching this on the YouTube, then it is a pre-recorded video from Wednesday, May 20th, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Yeah, so I hope everyone's week is going fantastic. I am also really sorry. Hillary, hello, I miss you. Sorry, I just saw Hillary. I got very excited. Hello, Annie. Annie's on my line. Now I'm gonna be nervous. So anyway, this week has been fascinating and interesting. And we had, so I'll give you a little recap. So Monday was the first day that the shop was open, to the public. From 11 to 2, we were open. We're open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 to 2 to the public. The remaining hours, we are still in the building, taking phone calls, doing all of that kind of thing. Hello, Kirsten. Kirsten? Is that it? Kirsten? Kirsten. From Copenhagen. Pam just made this face. Hello. And so it's been the worst, rainy. Today hasn't been bad. It's just overcast and gloomy here. But, it was oh, we might have a cat. Okay. Tape gun. Okay, bye. Hello. Is it Helen or Helene? She's in Wales. Pam. Oh, wow. And then Head.Zquit is in Arkansas, checking in. Yay, Sandra. I'm glad I saw that on our tracking that it got delivered, so I'm glad that you like your package. And hi, Kay. Hello, Turtle Stitcher in Australia. Just all of the international people today. I love it. And yeah, so it's been raining, not actual cats and dogs, but just buckets. And so we, oh, I'm sorry, Steffi. It said Helen, got it. Lovely. Oh, and okay, so I hope I remember that. That it's Lisa I'm sorry. I just like calling you Head.Zquit. Philly H 423. Hi from Iowa. It's not Copenhagen, but it's still Iowa. And, I have love for Iowa. So it's cool. And so I knew driving to the shop, I was like, oh, it's going to be, I feel like the rain, aside from everything else, is going to keep people away. And it's kind of what happened, I think. So, we had 4 customers on Monday from 11 to 2, which is great. I mean, it was great. We got to give each of them the attention that they deserved, which was lovely. And I think that it was so what was really exciting was that 2 of those 4 people that came in had never been to Keepsakes before. And that to me was just mind-blowing to me. Because I was like, what? So their stories were kind of similar. Barbara told me about them at 2:00. I didn't get to meet them, unfortunately, because I was in the office for those hours. But Barbara told me that their stories were similar and that they stitched a long time ago, and this whole being at home situation has really forced them almost to like find another hobby, right? Or find a hobby, not another one, but a hobby. And so they came and they knew that they liked cross stitch, and they were like, well, let's just start up again. And then they lived local, and they didn't know anything about floss tubes, so Barbara explained all that kind of stuff to them, which I think was really great. We have a little business card that we give people that come in and have never watched floss tube, and it's like a what is floss tube card, and kind of like these super basic instructions on how to find floss tube. And it's also a shameless plug for Pam and I and Nicole, so there's that. But it's really nice, and so people are always really enthusiastic about it. So I thought that was really interesting on Monday. And then Monday evening, I came home and I, lost my train of thought, had a Zoom call with was it all of us on the call? Was the whole team on the call? Oh, that's right. Okay. We had a call with the Common Threaded Stitcher team, which was really great. We had done a few at the beginning of quarantine, and then we're all over the place, and so we are it's kind of hard to like get us all in one place at one time, even with the whole staying at home situation. But it worked out really well. And so, it was Pam and I and Kia and Nathan and Kyle and Debbie and, Brandy and Rika. And it was wonderful. And we did that from 9 to midnight. So that was really great. I think we really needed it, and it's really interesting and fascinating to talk to all of them about their different. Annie just said, "Choo choo," lost your train of thought. I'm gonna steal that. I'm using it. But yeah, and just to see like what their communities are doing, what their states are doing, and how they're feeling, and we all kind of share a lot of the same sentiments and anxieties, and just to talk about that with people that are like-minded is really helpful, and you feel supported and not so alone in a time when I think a lot of people are feeling alone. So that was really great for all of us. So that was wonderful. So it was Monday night, and then after that was over, I watched the incredibly unclimactic and not fun Listen to Your Heart finale. Whatever. But I think, side note, on a totally unrelated, sort of related topic, it's going to be really fascinating to see, I don't know if you guys think about this kind of stuff, but, like how TV shows react to, like this whole reopening. So like a show like The Bachelor is, like, they always have something going. So Bachelor in Paradise was supposed to start soon. That's obviously not happening. And they're supposed to be filming the next season of The Bachelorette, and that's not happening. So, like, how long are we going to have to wait? I'm just saying. It's not like I don't have anything else to watch. Okay. But still, I just think and what is that going to look like? Like a show like The Bachelor? I mean, what is that going to look like? And I just think I think that the ripple effect of all of this is going to be really interesting. And I'm here for it, and I'm here to see how people do things. So it's obviously uncharted territory. But anyway, so then yesterday, I went into work. Yeah, Zoom Bachelor. Exactly, Megan. Zoom Bachelor. Megan, I got your piece. And I'm going to stitch my motif on it this weekend at some time. So I'll have it back at the shop or whatever for the next person on Monday. So anyway, unless you need it before then, just like text me and let me know. So then I went into work yesterday and fully expecting it to be myself and Barbara. And I pull in, and Barbara's car's there. Joe, her husband, car's there. Michaela, Barbara's daughter, her car's there. All of those cars, not unexpected. And then Lenny's car's there. And I was like, did I miss a memo for a meeting? And I was like, maybe she's just like dropping something off or picking something up or whatever. Like it was before we opened, so like, whatever. I don't need to know the movements of everyone all the time, regardless of what I may think. So I'm like, well, whatever. It's like an opportunity for me to, say hi to Lenny. So I walk in and Lenny's sitting there and she just looks at me and she goes, hi. And I was like, hi, how are you? She was like, I'm great. How are you? And I'm like, I mean, I'm great, except I'm very confused. I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you that you, shouldn't be here. But, like, what are you doing here? I'm very confused. Is everything okay? Like, what's happening? And she was like, yes, everything is fine, except for the flood in the basement. I was like, I'm sorry, what? The flood in the flood where? And, like, that's how torrential downpouring-ish it was here. And so, as I'm sure that most of you know, Keepsakes used to frame. So, they did all the framing and, like, all that kind of stuff downstairs in the basement of this house. And, because it's an old Sears house. And there's, like, a little room. I don't know what it was. I think it was kind of like probably a washroom of some sort. Back in the day when the house was a house. How many times can I say the word house? But when you get down to the base of the basement stairs, and you have nowhere else to go but to like make a sharp right, there's a room that's off to the left right there, and there's like a step up into it. And that was what was the drying room, when they used to like, do that kind of stuff. And it had, in the course of the last 2 years, or a year and a half or whatever, had been turned into a storage room for like seasonal decorations and porch decorations and like all that kind of stuff. Completely flooded. And I was like, oh no. So that's why, thankfully, there was no framing down there to be ruined. Thank God for that. But there was, it wasn't like so much damage that like the fire department had to come or like whatever. That wasn't a problem. But, and everyone was fine and like, nobody was injured and 310 is fine. All things are good. But Barbara said that she came in at 8:30 yesterday morning, because unlike me, she likes to get her work done before we open, and I would rather stay after. So she comes in, and she's like, I went downstairs, and she's like, I just burst into tears. I was like, oh, Barbara. So Barbara and Joe and even Michaela, they worked tirelessly to get stuff out of the basement. And they're like, like, because this is just so Barbara of her to always, like, try her best to look on the bright side of things. This is, like, forcing them to clean and clean some stuff out and throw some stuff away and, like, all this kind of stuff. So, keepsakes has been a thing for over 20 years. And so there's, like, just tons of stuff, right? So it forced them to, like, get it all out. I mean, if I had $1 for the number of times I saw any of them go up and down those stairs, I would never have to work again. Because that's how many times they were going up and down the stairs. So it was, and so Lenny was there to watch the shop while I was in the office during those hours that we were open yesterday. And then, her and I worked the rest of the day together so we could, like, focus on shop stuff so we didn't lose a day of business. All the things. So Tony said that she was up at 5:30 yesterday morning checking your basement because it flooded last summer. So it's not like there's thousands of dollars worth of damage or anything like that, but a lot of decorations that we have to throw away and boxes that are wet and that kind of thing. I'm sorry, Violet Blue 6723. She just said, while looking for my ringtone for my new phone, I found the perfect one for you. It's called Banana Pajamas. I was looking in the Zedge app, which I have on my phone. Banana Pajamas. I'm sorry. Is it spelled Pyjamas? I'm going to have to look that up. Thank you very much. And so no, thank you for that, Violet Blue. And Linda, it's totally fine that you call. I mean, that's what Lenny was there for, is because we didn't want to lose a day of business and we didn't want to lose a day of phone calls and taking care of mail orders and all of those things. So, we handled the business part of it and they took care of the basement. So, thank you. And hello, Liz. I will. And no, we only had, 2 customers all day yesterday. So we had, we only had one during the 11 to 2 o'clock. So I think that the rain just kept a lot of people away. And like Tony had said that she was getting flash flood warnings all day. So was I. I think that a lot of people were just like, I'm just gonna stay home. 'Cause it was like craziness driving home Monday night. I was like, I think I told Liz and Kia, I was like, I might as well have just brought a boat to work today. 'Cause it would have gotten me home quicker. 'Cause of all the water. And so it was a lot of standing water, a lot of high water, a lot of all of that. So, and then on top of Keepsake's basement with water, Barbara's home, which is less than 5 minutes from the shop, also had water in the basement. So they left the shop at about 3:30, 4 o'clock to go to the house to clean the basement there. So, craziness. And we have a creek that runs out beside our house, and it was a flowing, people. It was just a flowing. But our sub pump was working, so we're good here. But yeah, so, and yes, Megan, you are correct. 2020 just cannot catch a break. And I was thinking about that yesterday. It's like, Ohio, at least here, Ohio is starting to reopen and trying to, like, navigate all of that. And businesses are finally, like, trying to figure out what's their next step situation. It's all uncharted and it's a lot scary. And then, let's just throw a flood in the mix. And I was like, these poor businesses. So I don't tell you all that to like make you feel bad for us and all of that, but this is reality, people. This is like, I mean, this is our world. This is our life. So, yeah, it was pretty wild. So, and oddly enough, Lenny is the one who is prone to water in her basement. And, she didn't have any yesterday. So, wild. But she's like the one that gets water in her basement when none of us do. Like, nobody else does. So, crazy. Yes, 2020 has been a suckfest. That has been a suckfest. So, and Barbara, if any of you know Barbara or even just met Barbara, you know that she is one of the most resilient people I know. So, it is what it is. So anyway, and then, I think I'm a firm believer in like all things happen for a reason, and that, karma is the ruler of the universe is how I kind of look at things a lot. And so Barbara and I had received a message, on Facebook from a lovely customer, / viewer of Just Keep Stitching. And she said to Barbara and I in this Facebook message, she said, expect a package or delivery around 11:30 tomorrow. And so she sent the message on Monday night. And I was like, oh boy, I love prizes. I love presents. I like deliveries. Bring it on. And I had literally, because of all the things that happened on Tuesday morning when I first got there, I had completely forgotten about this. So it's 11:30, and in walks this very sweet girl who we could have very easily been a customer. And she has a mask on, and she has this ginormous box. And then I realized that the side of the box says Olive Garden. I'm like, so this amazing, wonderful customer / friend of Keepsakes had arranged from states away to have Olive Garden delivered to the shop for all of us. It was literally exactly what we needed. Could not have come on a better day. We had more people at the shop than we normally would from an employee standpoint, from like a Keepsakes family standpoint. And so like what was included in the box was like, kind of a catering situation. So it was like a third pan of lasagna, which was amazing. A huge salad, breadsticks, a gallon of raspberry lemonade, a gallon of iced tea, and this pan of, they're called Dolcini desserts, and they're like this big. They're the little single serving desserts, and like this variety pack, and like it was just, and even a bottle of chilled red wine for Barbara. So like it was just so like just perfect. I was just like, this is the best ever. This is the best. So because it was really slow yesterday from a customer standpoint, it was me, Barbara, Lenny, and Joe. Michaela was downstairs in the basement working, but on her computer, and so she ended up eating after us. But we all sat in the sitting room, plenty of feet apart from each other, and just enjoyed lunch, and it was wonderful. So it was awesome. And so that customer, you know who you are. It was great. And it really just like perfect timing. So that was amazing. And then also like, I've told a lot of people this, but like the thing that's getting me through like the stress and anxiety of all the things that are happening is like trying to find the silver lining, and like trying to not like actively searching for it, but like looking at situations and being like, yes, this happened because of the current situation in the world, but like this would not have happened without the current situation in the world. And so, like the Fox family, for example. I don't think that whole situation, I don't think us seeing them, I don't think them being in our house, I don't think that would ever have happened without what's going on in the world. So, that kind of thing, that just brings joy to my heart and gives me, like, reason for, like, a lot of people, myself included, are like, why? Like, what did we do to deserve this, right? And not that we deserve it, but I think you know what I mean. And so, looking at yesterday's situation, gave me the opportunity to work with Lenny. And Lenny and I usually, back before all of this, Lenny and I worked together Monday, Tuesdays. I love her so, so, so much. And, then it was like, all of a sudden it was like, hit a brick wall, and we were like forced to figure out what we were going to do at Keepsakes, like everybody else was. And just for safety measures, that meant me and Lenny didn't see each other. And I didn't realize how much I missed working with her until I got to work with her yesterday, and it was just so wonderful. And I even said that to her yesterday before we left. I was like, today was crazy and like just a totally upside down weird day. But like, we just talk about the lasagna we had for lunch and the fact that we got to work together, and we haven't worked together in 10 weeks. So like, if all of these things had not happened, we wouldn't, it makes you, I think more than probably just about anything, it really puts relationships into perspective. It puts, friendships and all that into perspective, and it really makes you thankful for the people in your life. Like my grandmother always said, distance makes the heart grow fonder, so for sure. So she's really great. Yes. So it was wonderful. So, crazy day yesterday, and then I came home and I had, So Vicky said, I can usually find that silver lining too. Imagine all of those people that will be able to work from home now. Yep, absolutely. Because they figured it out. They figured out a situation they took the cards they were dealt and they made it work. And I think that there's so many different stories about people doing that I think is just really wonderful. So yeah, it's been really, really great. So that yesterday was, for as crazy as a day as it started, it ended being a great day. So then I came home and I had, I kind of bring I bring, our shipping department home with me. Any packages that don't get fully loaded at the shop, I would rather package them from home. Because I don't like to just drop them in a box, like a blue box. I like to take them in and hand them to someone. And because you can write "do not bend" on it all day long, but like, okay. Right. The USPS is stressed right now, okay? So like, the last thing they're caring about is whether or not I write "do not bend" on something. They're like, whatever, I don't care. But, so, I will bring that stuff home with me, and we'll package it up while we watch TV. I can do it in my sweatpants with my bra. It's great. And so I did that last night, and yes. So, yes, this community is super special. So, and then today, so all of that sentimentality to say. So before I get into my funny story from today, I want to let you all know that tomorrow, I have kind of, in no way, shape, or form, am I like a expert on anything. I appreciate all the questions that you guys ask me, and like, I do. I'm basically Mrs. Claus, okay? And the ladies at the post office here are so funny. They're like, another good week. You've had another good week. When I come in with all my packages, and I was like, yes, it's been a good week. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they're so sweet. I love our post office people. So anyway, I've learned a lot. That's why I had the tape gun earlier. Okay, so. So anyway, so I don't consider myself an expert in anything. However, I have a really great sort of like discussion plan for tomorrow. It is strictly stitchy. It is about fabric, and I've done some homework. I watched some floss tube. I printed off a really informative piece of paper. And it's information that I felt enlightened by, and it was things that I didn't know, and I want to share that information with all of you. So that's going to be tomorrow. So, I'm really excited to talk about it, because I think there's a lot of confusion, so it's a fabric discussion, and so I think there's a lot of confusion about, like, types and names and numbers and counts and manufacturers and all of this kind of stuff, and over the stuff that I've found out in the last few days and looked into and all of that, has made it really clear for me. And so I get a lot of questions a lot of times from like, what's the difference between this and this and this and this and this? And it's like, I think I figured it out to a certain degree. I'm no expert, but I would love to share that information with you all. So that's going to be tomorrow. Today, I'm super tired. I'm taking a nap after this live. I am, so it was after talking to Pam about it, she was like, why don't you just go on and just like talk to them today? And I was like, I think I can listen to myself talk for an hour. Yeah, I can make that happen. So then Katie, this is what Katie Glass just said. Katie goes, you mean Lugana, Edinburgh, Newcastle, and Whitechapel? Exactly. Sandra, I will post it to YouTube. So, it will be up on the YouTube after, so no worries. And, Minnie, you do not need to take pets, and no, there will not be a quiz. But I'm just like, after the last couple days, I'm just mentally tired, and I want to be able to be fresh to explain these things to you tomorrow and to answer your questions to the best of my ability tomorrow too. And I highly recommend asking questions throughout tomorrow. Like, I will do my best. If there's a question that you have I don't know the answer to, I can follow that up on Friday. So no problem there. Or Saturday. I haven't decided. I will be skipping a live either Friday or Saturday. I don't know which one, but one of those ones I will skip because Saturday is our Floss Tube anniversary. Annie, is today your anniversary or was it yesterday? Happy anniversary. Joy-filled Stitcher, my new best friend. It's her Floss Tube anniversary. It's either today or tomorrow. And very exciting times. If you're not watching Annie, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Really. Seriously. And, okay. So, funny story. So yesterday in talking to Linny, she said to me that, she was talking about how she needed a haircut, and I was like, girl, I feel you. And over the weekend, I went to the YouTube, and I looked up how to remove gel manicures at home. 'Cause it was looking rough, y'all. It was bad. And so I figured it out. I took them off, and I was like, ugh, it's bad. So, I got an email from my hair salon about, like, what was going on, but the nail salon that I go to is literally like just in a plaza. I've been going there since I was like 16. They're amazing. But I'm not on like any email list, right? So yesterday when I was talking to Linny, she said, yeah, and then I have an appointment next week to get my nails done. She's a super pedicure girl, and she doesn't get manicures, but she gets pedicures all the time. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? You're getting your nails done next week? What? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, that means your nail salon is open. That means my nail salon might be open. She was like, yeah, probably. I was like, don't look at me like that. Okay, first of all. Second of all, so then after work yesterday, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a drive-by. I'm going to drive by my nail salon on the way home. I'm just going to see if they're open. And it was literally like, angels came out. They started singing. It was amazing. And I drove by, and the open sign was on, and it was glowing, and it was radiating. It was like, come inside, Steph. Fix your really crappy nails. And I was like, so I knew, like, as soon as this whole stay-at-home thing went as long as it did, I was like, oh, the women are gonna be bananas. They're gonna go crazy when the nail salons open up. And so, especially here in suburbia, USA. So I was like, okay, so I go inside, and it was like 6:30 by this point, and they closed at 7:30 anyway, so I can't imagine the long day that they've all had, so I was like, you know what, it can wait till tomorrow. Okay, sorry, I was reading Tony. She said, I've had my gel polish off for probably 6 weeks now. I think it's been good for my nails. Yeah, it's definitely good for your nails. Our salons in Kentucky don't open until next week. Got it. So, anyway. So, in Maine, you can get your hair done, but not your nails. That's interesting. My hair salon has, like, they have a lot of rules right now, which is totally understandable. But, like, they're not even allowed to blow dry right now, according to the state Ohio Board of Cosmetology, which is just kind of like I go to the blow dryer, really. I go to the salon to get a full salon experience, And I mean, I pay for it, but like, I want the experience. And if I'm gonna leave with a wet head of hair, like, I'm not gonna be happy. So I was like, I'll wait. So, okay, so. I made my appointment. I walked in there, I made an appointment. They were all so nice. Hi, Stephanie, how are you? Blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you remember me. And I made my appointment for today at 11. And I walked in the door with my Santa's basket of gifts and my stitch bag, and I was like, the time has come, Pam. She was like, for what? And I'm like, I have an appointment to get my nails done tomorrow at 11. She was so excited. Or at least she pretended to be excited. Either way, it was great. So, I will say that they had a ton of precautions in place, which I thought was really great, and I knew that it was going to be that way, and I was okay with that. And, they said, like, no more than 2 people in the waiting area, and I could see that, like, all the different things they have set up, the plexiglass and all this stuff to make it, safe to have that kind of interaction. So I felt confident after just seeing that yesterday. I was like, okay, they're really, like, paying attention to, like, what is safe and what's comfortable. And so, so I go in at 11. Okay. I'm long-winded. It takes me a real long time to get to the point of the story. So I will start with, look at them. Look at them. They're gorgeous. I can still smell the lotion from the mannequin. Oh! I love it. I love a good mani. Okay, I'm just saying. I feel great about it. It's a really good spring color. I really like coral. Feeling myself. Okay. So anyways, let me just tell you this really hilarious story from the nail salon today. So, I do a very, very, very good impression of an employee at your standard American nail salon. However, I really do not want to offend anyone. So I'm not going to do that because I'm not out here to offend anybody. So, but if you've been to a nail salon, you can picture the interaction from the employee. Thank you all so much for the compliments. Also, just really, and now compared to my hair, now my hair looks awful compared, but it's okay. It is what it is. Yes. This is OPI color. I know that at my salon, it's color 103. I have no idea what the name of it is. I'm very sorry. I should have looked, but I was very conscientious of what I was touching while I was there, and because I didn't want them to be like, now we have to sanitize it, and so I was just like, okay, so I'm just going to, I didn't look. I should have asked. I'm so sorry. I might be able to look at the OPI website, but I know it's OPI because that's the only brand that I get is OPI. So I'll look at their website and see if I can find out. Okay, so I walk in and I go up to the front desk, and the person that's running the front desk is somebody that I am assumed that he works there, obviously, but I'd never seen him there before, and I've been going there since I was 16. So I have no idea who he was. But he was also the same gentleman that took my my appointment yesterday. So, he recognized me from last night. So he was like, hi, Steph, right? And I was like, you have a good memory. And then he was like, okay, you can sit here, because there was only one other person in the waiting room. So, and just so you guys get an idea of at least what my salon looked like, all of the chairs for pedicures, they had literally hanging from the ceiling these big sheets of plexiglass. And then there was enough room underneath the plexiglass for your feet to go under. But there was plexiglass between the nail tech and the person sitting in the chair. And then they also had these little things on wheels that were made of plexiglass, like a frame on wheels that moved in between the different chairs. So that way the people in the different chairs they had plexiglass between them, which I thought was literally genius. I was like, that's really smart. And then my salon, you walk in and then there's an aisle that goes straight down the center, and then the pedicure chairs are over here, and then the manicure nail things are over here, tables are over here, and there's probably 5 different tables for manicures, and then but there's 2 chairs at each set of 5, so there's 10 spots for a manicurist and a customer to sit. But they only had 1 person at each thing. So only 5 people could be getting their nails painted or done. Yes, Angie, I tell stories that way. Angie Rachel just said, OMG, Steph, you tell stories like my mom, aunt, and myself. All the details. Love it. 3 hours into a day of sewing together, we still haven't finished our first stories. Yes. And yes, Cotton Blossom 40, yes, I did have to wear a mask. I didn't have to, it was not required, but I wear a mask out everywhere. So, So yeah. So anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, waiting. And I didn't mind waiting. I didn't have anything to do until sitting down with you all at 2:00. So I knew I had plenty of time. So at my salon, they have also like buckets of they're little wheels and they have, um, all the different colors on them. And each one is labeled by like what brand they are. And so anyway, but again, I was being super self-conscious, or I was being conscientious is the word I'm looking for. As to like what I touched. I didn't want to just go, what I would have done was I'd just go over and take the bucket and look at the bucket, pick a color, right? But I was like, I don't want to touch anything unless they tell me I can touch it. And so I saw the bucket sitting over there, but I was like, I'm not going to touch it until they can tell me I can touch it. So I just sat there and I was like on my phone or whatever. And then one of the girls comes over to me and she says, you're getting a gel manicure, right? And I said, yeah. And she was like, have you picked a color? And I was like, no. And she was like, okay, go pick a color. And then when you're done picking a color, you can sit at 1. Or, table 1. And I was like, okay. So I go over and I pick the color. And I get the bucket of colors. Now, I literally have to, like, always step 1 when I get my nails done is I have to, like, go through and pull out the OPI ones. Because I don't care about the mood color changing ones or the other brands that I don't care about. I just want to find the OPI ones. And then I can narrow it down from there, okay? So, I literally had pulled out 3. There's like 80 wheels in this bucket, 80. And I pulled out 3 that say OPI on them. I haven't even looked at the colors on them. I just saw OPI. I just pulled them out. And she comes back over to me and she was like, have you picked a color? And I was like, no, I've not picked a color yet. You were just here 3 seconds ago. I picked a color. I was like, I'm very stressed. I haven't got my nails done in, since, end of February. So, no, I haven't picked a color. And so then, she was like, okay, no problem. When you pick a color, you can just go sit at 1. And I was like, I know, that's what you just told me. So, thank you, ma'am. So, then I was like, I'm starting to sweat. I'm like, I don't even know, what is a good, I'm just coming out of quarantine color. Is there a color for that? Is there I don't know, end of May, beginning of June, but you haven't seen other people in 3 months color? I don't know. What is that color? OPI has not made a color for that yet. So, I had found someone, I do have a Pinterest board for nail art, so I picked a couple of those colors, whatever, and so I'm, frantically searching for OPI wheels. I found one more wheel before this woman comes back over to me, and she was like, what color do you want? I mean, she didn't say it like that, but she was like, she said, what color do you want? All very excited, like she had picked my color for me. And I was like, oh, I'm feeling the pressure right now. So then I just literally just picked a wheel, and I was like, this one, just this one. And she was like, okay, 103, sit at 1. And I was like, okay. Very stressed out. However, my manicure looks really great. And yes, it is a commitment. You cannot just go willy-nilly. Thank you, Cotton Blossom 40. Seriously. Stitching Chris just said, when you're picking your colors, don't you always equate them to floss colors? I want crab cakes by weeks for my pedicure, but the tech doesn't understand me. Amen, sister friend. Amen to that. And the last color that I got, which was the color I got before I went to market, was OPI's Malaga Wine, and it was that red color that you all saw for the last 3 months. Um, that was, I was like, I don't want that color. Do not make me pick it. It was so stressful. It was so stressful. I mean, to be fair, this was sort of the color I was hoping for, but out of the 4 wheels that I found, this was the closest thing to what I was looking for. I would like it to be a little bit more poppy than this, like a little bit brighter. And like by poppy, I mean like poppy. So, and you are correct, Sandra. I am never getting Malaga wine ever again, ever. And you know what is hilarious about that is that Linny, my coworker, a creature of habit, that is the exact color of polish that she gets on her pedicures 97% of the time. Malaga wine. And I remember getting it and I was like, and I just picked it by the color. I didn't know what the name of it was. And then I found out the name and I was like, Linny, it's like it's fate. It's Malaga wine. Little did I know I'd be stuck with it for literally 3 months. Crazy. Liz, she said, can you bring your own colors to your salon? I don't think so. I have nail polish, but I get gel polish, and I don't own any gel polish, so, no. And also, Megan, what nail salon do you go to? She said that they only use OPI. I mean, I'm just saying that, like, I love my nail salon, they're fantastic, but that was a lot of pressure. It was very stressful. If I had known that I could just take the bucket, I would have been looking for the whole 15 minutes I was waiting. But because I was a good person and I waited, I was pressured into number 103. It's fine though. It's worth it. And Sandra said, oh, before we go, can I ask a favor, everyone? Yes. What's going on? I mean, within reason, of course. So, it's now 5 till 3. Thank you all for putting up with my ridiculousness today. And I hope that you enjoyed my stories. I knew that you guys were expecting me at 2 o'clock. I did not want to cancel on you since I plan on only doing 3 this week anyway. So, it's just a little glimpse into my ridiculous everyday life. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. I left a very sweet nail tech a really nice tip. And, oh, okay. So Sandra said a favor is to please don't step around the plexiglass to give your cashier cash. Don't you just slide it under the plexiglass? People do that. Interesting. Oh, I didn't even tell them about the payment part. Okay, I'll start tomorrow's live with the payment part. The long and short of it is that I was using a gift card that I had been given. And the man who was running the thing, he, I don't think he's worked there long, and it was a, like, MasterCard gift card, and it was one I'd had for forever, and I just wanted to use it up. So anyway, I hadn't taken the sticker off that said stop, this is only, like, useful, like, to be used in in-store purchases or whatever. It's a useful sticker, because once the gift card's gone, I'm throwing it out anyway. So he thought that the little thing on it that said debit was the chip, but, like, it's a gift card, so there's no chip. So he kept putting it in the chip thing, and I was like, sir, I don't think that it's a chip. I think it's just a swiper. I think there's no chip. And he was like, this is the chip. And I was like, no, but that's not the chip. It just says debit on it. And I literally went to go what my intention was to show him how it said debit, and I was like, look, it says debit, and then I went like that, and I smacked my hand on the freaking plexiglass. And I was like, you know what? Take my money, I'm out. It was hilarious. Um, yeah, so Vicky said one time I said ouch to the nail tech. She asked if it hurt. I said that's what ouch means. Pam was laughing. All right, you guys. Thank you all so, so much for hanging out with me today and putting up with my antics. I had fun just telling stories. I think that's something I just really, um, I just really enjoyed talking to you guys, and I hope that it is, at least for an hour out of your day, it is a distraction that's a good one. And yeah, so, to remember tomorrow is our fabric talk, so that'll be great. If you guys want to go back and listen to my nail tech story again, that's totally fine. It will be up on YouTube. Why, I don't know, but it's gonna go up on YouTube, just for posterity's sake, here shortly, so, bye, Annie, have a great day. I love you all so very much, and, I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Bye.